Welcome back to the Jackie Griffin Show, and we are joined now live on set with a beautiful woman named Monique. And once you hear her story, you'll be very compelled, but you'll also understand what I mean when I say that moms make a difference, and that role is so significant, and it means so much to our children, our significant others, the people that are around us. But Monique's story will really, really touch your heart, but it also will empower and inspire you to go out there and do something and make a difference. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. How are you?
Great, great, great. Tell us about Monique.
Um, well, I'm known as Monique actually because I'm actually a living unidentifiable person. I'm listed in the name is registry for dead people. I just was awarded or granted an opportunity to have a missing child's number, and it's really a hard thing to be. Like I am a mother of four that I'm very proud of. So I have a daughter that just finished college. My son is in the Marines. I have one child in high school and one in elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And I take that title very seriously. I never experienced being a daughter or a sister or an aunt or a cousin, but the one title that I had, or two, I'm a child of God.
Amen.
And a mother of four. And it's a very, very hard thing to build a legacy where there's no history. I often tell people when they say, well, your name is Monique. Well, I'm known as Monique. It's not my real name. It's not the name that I was given because I don't know nothing about me. So it's really difficult for me to build a legacy that there's no history. I forever tell people that I cannot share with my children, we had family that worked at the White House, or your great-great-great-grandmother, worked with the president, or you have good hair because you're a Cherokee Indian.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. The lineage starts with me. That's the name of my book is I Am the Ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
And before I die, I must share my story. Because when I was abducted, they're not going to go tell anyone what they did.
Correct.
And to me, there's no statute of limitation on federal offense. So while I'm in pursuit of that, my biggest goal with the Known as Monique Foundation is preventative measures. All the outreach that I do, every topic that I speak on is what we do today as society, as parents, as caregivers, as friends, as sisters, is to keep our mind on our children.
The mission of your organization. What is your mission?
The mission has two parts to it because I'm always looking for my true identity to find out if anyone's looking for me. I try to tell the world that I'm walking amongst everyone and no one knows that I'm here. If I was born in 1966, 67, or 68, in those times, documents weren't recorded as well as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But the preventative measures is that I do a stand campaign in high schools and basically educate children on how to take a stand against human trafficking, sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, how easy it is for them to be lured into it with social media these days. The mission is that I do a daycare program for mommy and me.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the boogeyman is somebody different. You no longer say,
Mm-hmm.
is there's a boogeyman? No, the boogeyman is a teacher, a minister,
Yes.
a coach,
Mm-hmm.
a mentor, an employer. No offense, and I don't live in fear, but everyone is a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
You hear all the time when a custodial partner has abducted a child.
Exactly.
Sometimes they murder them.
Correct.
So again, we have to really focus on what we can do now to help our kids. We have to fight the fight that we never want to fight.
I have a question for you. For those that are viewing the show today, what is human trafficking? That if they don't know what that means.
It's a big arena. Human trafficking is the exploitation of a human being against their will. And even on the legal platform, you have human trafficking could be workforce, just a trade where you force them to be a nanny in your home or work in the fields and the sweat camps of your home. The sex trafficking, of course, is when they're doing prostitution of the young adults. And it's not necessarily all girls. There are boys and some adults that are actually coerced into doing these things. And then another part of it is that you can potentially be shipped, out of state. The alarming statistics that I think, or that I've really, really studied amongst the try not to dwell up in tears.
It's okay.
Is that within 2 hours of an abduction, you're usually mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, and within 2 hours, you could potentially be dead.
Mm.
People do not realize that the time of recovery is so important that the minute that you see something, you need to say something. Be that role player to say, oh my gosh, it was 2:25 right after school time, and I saw a little girl with a yellow shirt on. You know, even if it didn't mean anything to you at the time, just that little visual, you know, compiling of information could be a life-saving piece. To know that parents are out, we're making missing person folders, which you can do on my website, www.knownasmonique.org. I actually offer you create missing persons posters. You know, you don't realize when you're posting these out, within those same 2 hours, I'm right here in Baltimore. Within 2 hours, my child could be in Delaware.
Right.
You know, my child could be in New Jersey.
Correct.
Because we're out and searching in the alleys and the back doors, we're calling their best friends, and that's how fast it's happening. So we really need to be more proactive with safeguarding our children. What we used to do with children with the latchkey children, you gotta change that. You can't just hang the little key on the neck.
Right.
No, you gotta build a relationship with someone in the community. You gotta have that contact number. You gotta have a working system. What's the password? I can tell my password now. My kids will forever laugh at me. It was the llama. So my child got home and called me from school, and I said, "Hey, is everything okay?" "Yeah, mom. Yes, ma'am. Yes, mama." You know, that was a trigger point for me to get to mom.
Correct.
Right away. Of course, the abductor or the intruder,
They don't have a clue. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we have to do.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to the child, we as parents, or even adults. My daughter's in college. I got read the riot act on her day to go to school. When I was packing her up and I was about to do my, okay, no, ma, I already know. Don't be in the rooms by myself. Don't go outside at a certain time. Don't walk across the campus without letting someone know. I was so like on it because then she was able to take that.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that, you know, I used to hear when I was younger, when I was a little girl, you have to learn it takes a village to raise a kid. And, you know, the society that we live in now, people are so, they don't want you telling their children nothing. But I think that the way that things are going on in this world, if we went back to that same mentality of, you know, the village mentality, everyone knows what your children, you know, what time your kid's supposed to pass in front of their house coming from school, or what time the bus drops them off. Or I even see in the community where I live that there's mothers that are at the, and fathers that are at the bus stop, and they bring their kids home, but they're also talking to the other kids and saying, okay, well, make sure you go in, lock the door. So we're all policing up, and as you were saying, and helping all the kids in the community, not just our own. And I think when stuff, you know, hopefully we can be that eye that if we see something that's not right, because we know, maybe we not know the, I should say know the parents, you know, like we're great friends, but we know what they look like. You know, we know who was in the household. So if we see this child with someone that we know that's not someone that we're familiar with seeing them, we might want to question it.
You question it immediately. I'll use Felicia Rudd, for example. March 1st, she's been missing for 1 year in the D.C. area. And when the news media started canvassing for stories, there was one neighbor who said, oh, I did see him with a young child out of the blue all of a sudden. I know they didn't have any children, and she didn't realize that she was really a key individual. And what do we do?
Correct.
Call the authorities every time you see a neighbor or a coworker that, you know, just kind of sprout up to you, engage. You know, when do you cross the line? And when do you cross the line? But those are the things that you really need to look into these days. You can casually ask a question. Oh, is that your goddaughter? You know, because you're that role. Because now I wonder what she thinks every day to know that for weeks she saw the activity of that child in and out of that home and actually did it. Not to throw.
Correct.
Correct. But that's what we have to do. Let me get back to what you mentioned before about the community and the involvement. Yeah, you have all the people who push your way. Don't put your hand on my child.
Correct.
You know, I'm an adult. I'm a parent. I know how to raise my child. You move on from that one and get to the next. But you know what? Keep your eye on their child.
Exactly.
You don't want to throw it in their face like, okay, I remove on to your shit. No,
Exactly.
you still want to be that support for them.
Mhm.
The other piece about the community is constantly check your registry. There's a registry for pedophiles.
Mhm.
You pull up my zip code. In my zip code, there are 38 registered
My.
pedophiles. Just imagine what that margin looks like for the ones that are in my community, in my zip code, that have yet to register.
Now, are pedophiles?
I'm going to do one more stop.
That's
one
what I was
more.
about to ask.
Next one. What about the individual handicap?
Ooh.
So you just went up from 38 to 40 something, right into the 50 margin
Mm.
of your child walking to school, walking to the store, taking the trash out with the no registry. So this is why, again, when you learn what's actually going on, it's key. And it's awareness is key, but prevention to me it lasts a lifetime.
Now, once you, if you go into, which I'm probably gonna do when I go home, but once you, and even though my kids are grown, but I do have a grandbaby, but
Right.
once you go in with your zip code and you look up and see who, is there any indicators like in their yards or anywhere?
The state and communities usually only do things like that around Easter and Halloween, because they don't want children to go onto the property, knock on the door. The outreach that they send to these pedophiles is that those nights you leave the lights off. You put red X or something on the door.
Oh wow.
So actually, they're supposed to play a role into, the preventative measures.
Okay.
And when you see it, it's an eye opener for you. And I thank you for that, because you said something really key. Your kids are grown, but just when you have a grandchild, and then sometimes even without the grandchild, just you feeling comfortable enough
Right.
to know what's happening in your neighborhood. So even if your grandchild is not with you, your kids are grown, they're all with their big careers out
Mhm.
of state, and you just knowing that 5 houses on the block,
Yes.
a danger zone, because your life is at stake.
Mhm.
There's a fetish for basically every black woman
Correct.
in that world.
Correct.
It's really sad. It is.
So, what preventive measures have you put in place for your kids,
Well,
knowing that you've been through what you've been through and still going through what you're going through? But I believe, God, that you will know who you are, even though you already know who you are, if you know what I mean. But what preventive measures did you put in place for your kids that might be helpful to our viewing audience?
I did so many of them. I mean, I can run millions of them off. You go to a large playground or park. A lot of times the parents come. You do the buddy system. While we have 4 children, they would pair up together and not be separated. If I was tired at a certain time, or we would have a designated spot where they would return at a certain time. So I didn't want to smother my kids.
Correct.
I feel like, okay, everyone's gonna steal you. You're gonna get them.
Correct.
You gotta give them freedom to learn and educate and use those values and then come back.
Correct.
The same type of thing that I did with my boys. Teach them to respect themselves, respect girls, respect their elders. And you won't hold it down. You get the pushback, but you gotta hold it. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Same thing with the bathroom. How people joke. Going to the bathroom. Well, I got to do number 1. Well, I got to do number 2. Well, number 1 and number 2 is time components to us. So if I'm in a restaurant, I would have my son, Mama got to go to the bathroom. I need within a minute's time. Because if not, Mama busting through the man's bathroom.
Correct. Correct. Right.
My son in here.
Right.
And I had to be that mom. It is nothing about, there's no shame in it whatsoever.
Mhm.
Not that, you're just so overprotective. And, you need therapy, baby, because, you went through something. No, I don't want my children
Exactly.
to need that therapy.
Exactly.
Because I went through something.
Exactly.
But now that I know, I want better for them.
Right. And then I guess they say I need therapy too, because I used to take my son in the women's bathroom with me when he said he had to go in the bathroom. So,
Well, I look at the age, because some kids, if you're looking at
yeah, no, well, not at that age, but
I know what you
but I mean, but even with my husband, he would take him to the bathroom. He would go with him. He would just go with him. But it's just the world we live in. But if you could give your information on your Twitter site, your Facebook, however anyone could get in touch with you, just to talk to you so you can encourage them, or that may be looking for you, or anything of that nature. And then after you finish that, could you please just speak your heart to our viewing audience?
Yes, because I'm a missing person, I am actually listed on the National Registry for missing and exploited children, as well as the NamUs organization for deceased bodies that they find, like homeless people in homeless buildings. Everything is known as Monique. Out of the many names that I have, Monique actually fit me. So my foundation is known as Monique, and I actually have a platform where I will come out and workshop in classroom settings, daycare facilities, some of the schools. I've been at the Morgan, Toppin State, Triple C, some of the symposiums. We're at www.knownasmonique.org and on all social media platforms, because I'm known as Monique. It's easy for anyone looking for me to find me.
Speak your heart.
My heart is that I don't live in fear, and I don't wish anyone else to live in fear. And with all of the notifications that are going out, people really need to be more mindful and be that change agent of being who they want to be and how they want to see the world. But I can't do it by myself, and my vision is so huge. And I need individuals that will partner with me, collaborate with me. I'm looking into a collaboration with moms across America. It is so important. I don't do the pity party thing about my identity. I don't travel. I can't. But I'm excited about what I can do when it comes to saving lives. And I'm actually in the street, dumpster diving for clues to safely reunite a family. That is so valuable to me. So if there's anything that you ever think that you could do, I recommend, please do it. If you think you saw something that kind of set aside for you, be that individual to anonymously call. You don't wish to share your identity or be the pointer to snitch individual. Save someone's life, and that is key. Again, my name is S. Monique Smith Person, and I'm the founder of the Known as Monique Foundation for Missing and Endangered Persons. Oh, there's a couple of laws in the state of Maryland. There's a couple of houses. On my page, Known as Monique on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, I'll be posting up some of those. We used to go to Annapolis and get new laws implemented.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Monique, for being on the show today. And I know that God is going to continue to do a great work in you, and you will find your family someday. I know you will. But until then, keep doing what you're doing. And I know that your children are so proud of you, because moms really do make a difference. And you're one of those. Despite your past, you're creating great futures.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on the Jackie Griffin Show.